Good evening, everyone. Oh, happy Friday. It's been a day for me, meetings and year end wrap up stuff, but it's going to be okay. I'm going to see whether or not I can play my intro. So let's check and see if I can do that. All right. I got it this time. So I was supposed to put it inside of I don't know what you call it. When I get ready to set up for the live stream, which I did last night, I was supposed to have that play at the beginning. I'm gonna get this. I've got some help coming. So today or tonight, we're gonna talk about what's on the agenda for the coming year and how will you thrive in 2025. So I wanted to make an announcement that I was I guess I ate too many sweets yesterday and I was up just about all night, but I wanted to capture my theme for 2025. Let's thrive in 2025. So I actually did a t-shirt. I went online and found one of those t-shirt companies that they make the t-shirt for you and they send it out. It's not a lot of profit at all on it, but I think I want everybody to have these t-shirts. So I think they're up right now. I have to order mine when we get done. I just got out of a meeting with my Costa Rica crew just now. So it says Let's Thrive in 2025, and it has an umbrella, and the umbrella is covering the home, the car. It has gold in there. It has a wallet in there, and it's just cute. So I put in the description that anybody that gets the T-shirt, if they send me a picture of them with a T-shirt on, then I'm going to give them a special gift. So don't know what that gift is. Not going to tell what the gift is. I know what it is, but I'm not going to tell what it is. But that's just something to show that you've made the decision that you're going to do what it takes to thrive in 2025. So those shirts should be on there along with the books that I have. Now, I wanted to talk about Rand Paul's Festivus report. Every year, Rand Paul, which is a Kentucky senator, puts out a report about government waste. And I'm going to go over a few of those today before we talk about how we're going to thrive, because I need everybody to understand what the government is doing with your money. Number one, ghost towns on government dime. So we talked about empty buildings, but the federal government spent 10 billion with a B. Think about this, 10 billion with a B on maintaining, leasing, and furnishing almost entirely empty buildings all over Washington and other places, not just in Washington. Despite empty offices, the federal government also spent 3.3 billion on high-end office commodities between 2020 and 2022. To share just a couple of examples, while the CDC fearmongered the American public into closing schools and wearing ineffective masks, it was busy installing, listen to this, solar powered picnic tables, costing a total of $327,960. That would have paid off all of my houses. Another example of this outrageous spending comes from the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation. $15 million splurge on new furniture, even though the offices were empty. A Florida man stole $8 million in COVID-19 funds to buy an island. How many of you put a one in the chat if you heard about this guy that stole $8 million to buy a freaking island off the coast of Florida? It's incredible. You can't make this stuff up, really. It's called Sweetheart Island. So it's a 2-acre uninhabited patch of paradise about a mile off the coast of a city called Yankeetown, Florida. It may have seemed like an ideal getaway for Florida businessman Patrick Walsh, which is his name. Instead, he's serving a 5.5-year prison sentence for stealing nearly $8 million in federal COVID relief funds that he used in part to buy the island. Walsh's case is just one jewel in a treasure trove of government oversight failures where the swindlers of the pandemic relief program ran rampant. According to an analysis by the Associated Press, individuals engaged in fraudulent activities potentially stole over $280 billion from COVID-19 relief funding, with an additional $123 billion being squandered or misused. And remember, not all of these individuals were from this country. People from other countries got in on this because they saw how lax the government's rules were. It was just nuts. Got a lot of Florida stories. Yes, I'm sure, Celine, got a lot of Florida stories. Another one, the Department of the Interior spent $12 million on a Las Vegas pickleball complex. Now, I heard about pickleball for the first time last year. They built in Las Vegas a $12 million pickleball complex. Now, I wonder what government official that lives near there or their relatives live near there took advantage of either building it or having it near their home. It's incredible. Next, the Department of Health and Human Services awarded a $2 million grant to study kids looking at Facebook ads about food. $2 million for children to look at ads and them study the children while they looked at ads about food. These are what we call pet projects, and a lot of times the people that are this is how a lot of the wealthy stay wealthy. So, for example, if you're a congressperson, a congress critter, and you have a child that graduated from the University of blank, and that child graduated in biology and they got a bachelor's degree in biology, didn't want to go any further, can't find a job, or trying to run around doing other stuff. You said, okay, well, we're gonna do this grant here, and it's gonna be in our area, and hey, we're gonna give you this money, but one of the stipulations is that you hire this kid right here. And I can't prove that all that goes on, but I know it has gone on. I know that it has. It's called a shakedown. And you can't, you have to laugh sometimes without, or you're gonna cry. So the HHS spends nearly $500,000 on a depressing study of lonely, starved rats. This is what they did. Researchers first placed rats in a small compartment and injected them with cocaine to create positive association with that location. So that location, they receive cocaine and they associate that with cocaine and their feelings when they're when they're on cocaine. Okay. Now the rats were then divided into two groups. One group was allowed to socialize and had substantial access to food and toys. The other group was kept in isolation with no toys and limited food. So they were kind of starving them. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, any of us would have guessed what was going to happen. After 4 weeks, researchers compared the two groups' reactions. To no one's surprise, the rats subjected to starvation and more isolation sought their cocaine associated compartments more than the ones that had food and interaction and toys. That's another one of those pet projects. Somebody's kid or relative or mistress or somebody got money for that one. That's just ridiculous. Okay, next one. The Department of Energy spent $15.5 billion to push Americans towards electric vehicles that they don't want. Put a one in the chat if you've seen some of these batteries blowing up on videos. I've seen really tragic situations. I saw one guy, he was not really close to the car, but the battery blew up and some of the parts, I think with one of the tires hit him and knocked him clear across the room. This is not what we want. And I've seen several videos with the electric cars where they're having to be towed by gas powered tow trucks. It's just very interesting. Okay, the Department of State squandered $4.8 million to influencers in Ukraine. So what they did was they gave social media influencers in Ukraine, oh y'all, please help me, $4.8 million so that they could do what? Okay, as American taxpayers struggle under the weight of inflation and economic uncertainty, the government continues to spend recklessly on initiatives that serve little purpose and present significant risk. This time, the State Department decided to throw millions of dollars at influencers, despite American taxpayers providing nearly $174 billion in aid to military assistance to Ukraine already since the beginning of this proxy war with Russia. Someone over at the Department of State thought it was a brilliant idea to drop an additional $4.8 million for Ukrainian public affairs influencers. I can take some of that. Next one, the Department of Agriculture spent $20 million on the Fertilized Rights Initiative to advance fertilizer use in Pakistan, Vietnam, Colombia, and Brazil. So they went to these 4 countries to spend $20 million, which is like $5 million each, just about, to encourage them to use fertilizer. You know what form of fertilizer they need in Washington, don't you? The kind that comes out of cows. Anyway, let me stop. Ironically, while American farmers are struggling to turn a profit, burdened by inflation and high production costs, the USDA has decided to send this money overseas to teach others how to fertilize properly. Okay, 2 more. Here's the runner-up for the craziest one, in my opinion. You can go out and find the Festivus report online. There's a lot of them out there, but I picked certain ones. But this is the runner-up. Big Bird goes to Baghdad. The Agency for International Development, which is called USAID, is spending $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. After decades of costly wars in the Middle East, we hope to see a sober approach to assisting this region. But no, here we are. The Agency for International Development is spending $20 million in taxpayer money on a Sesame Street show in Iraq to promote inclusion and mutual respect. Because when tanks and missiles fail, our best backup plan is to send the Muppets. The decision to spend millions on a Sesame Street show for Iraq is misguided. This project shows that the U.S. shallow attempts to fix problems it created in the Middle East at the expense of U.S. taxpayers. Iraq can recover only with real economic and social reforms, Puppet-driven inclusion campaigns will not work. Anybody with any kind of sense would know this is not going to work. Why are they spending this money over there? You tell me. And finally, the big slap in the face. This is the one that kind of made me not only scratch my head, but say a few words. In the latest chapter of government spending gone wrong, we've handed over $2.1 million to provide enhanced border security, but not for the U.S., where record high arrest and humanitarian crisis are unfolding. And lately, that situation that you all know about in New York. Instead, we sent taxpayer-funded funds abroad to help Paraguay secure their border. Yes, we sent money to another country so that they could secure one of their borders. While our own borders tallied an all-time high of almost 250,000 encounters undocumented immigrants in the U.S.-Mexican border in just 1 month, December 2023, the powers that be decided it was a perfect time to focus on securing the Paraguay border. Nothing says America first like securing someone else's border when our own is in complete chaos. There have been over 10 million encounters with illegal immigrants since the Biden administration took office. Recent information revealed around 400,000 unaccompanied, listen to this, 400,000 unaccompanied children have been released into the U.S. to live with vetted sponsors. You all know where I'm going with this. However, the government lost track of 85,000 of these children in February of 2023. Bless the children. Okay. And just because we are about to have a new president and the Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE, with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, doesn't mean that things will change. And you all might be saying, well, Sherry, the Republicans will control both the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So what? Let me tell you this. There's a question that I had. How many times has the Republicans controlled both the House, the Senate, and the White House since World War II? The answer is 3 times. The first was the first 2 years of Eisenhower. Ike is the one that told us about the military-industrial complex. Okay. The second was the middle 4 years of George W. Bush. And the third was the first 2 years of the first presidency of Donald Trump. Okay, let's talk about the Democrats. The Democrats control the White House and both chambers of Congress 8 times. Okay, the first was somewhere at the end of World War II, and it goes all the way up to the 5th being the 2 years of the Clinton administration, 2 of those. The 6th was 2 years of the Obama administration, and the 7th was 2 years in the Biden administration. This is 24 years. These facts let you know that they don't really care about us. I'm looking straight at you. They do not care about us. Nothing has changed in a positive way substantially for us common folks, whether the Democrats or the Republicans control the House, Senate, and the presidency. This has been the case for over almost 80 years. Please let that sink in and stop putting your hopes in government. Please. I know so many people that were so happy about the outcome of the presidential, and I can get with that, being happy about it, but do not hold your breath, because I personally don't think things are going to change that much, at least on a regular, because I think you all know that someone can put some rules and laws and bills in place, and as soon as they get out of office, the other person turns it over. So there have been some decent things that happen for us over the years, but a lot of them get turned around as soon as that person is gone. And if these people that are in office are vagabond marionettes, as far as I'm concerned. That's my personal opinion. So, what are we going to do about the fact that they're stealing our life force, the resources gained from the use of our time and energy? Every day we go out and do something using our energy and our brains to create resources so that we can eat, so that we can have shelter, and so that we can have clothes. And those resources, obviously, from just the few examples that I gave you, are being stolen. So, my life force, your life force is being stolen. Before I get into the solutions, I am going to go and look in the chat and see what we have in the chat. It is going to be interesting. James says Monsanto. Oh my goodness. As I've stated before, the people that really run the country is the corporations. I call this whole mob scene the corporatocracy. So the government, the corporations, and the banksters get together and they do things. And again, they're not for us. Fertilizer, yeah. Cows have 3 stomachs, yes. Okay, Dolly says she worked in the hospital and it was crazy. I can only imagine. And I heard that a lot of people, a lot more than normal, decided that they didn't want to be on Earth anymore. A lot of EMT people, nurses, and even doctors decided they didn't want to be here anymore because their whole life view was upended during 2020 and 2021, and they didn't want to be here anymore. That's so sad. Trump will bring home troops to protect the border, and I hope that the wall goes up. There's so much infighting right now. I think I said this before, but I want to say it again. It's like when you have a rental property and you got somebody in there that is they've passed time for them to go. Their lease is up. They wouldn't get out, and then now that you finally got an injunction to get them out, they're tearing up the house. That's what's happening right now. They are tearing up the house. They have I think it was 37 people that were on getting ready to, they were in prison on death row. They got their sentences commuted to life. It's just so much going on. It's like they're tearing up the house. Missing millstones. Okay. Don't get that one, but I know what a millstone is, but some of these people need millstones. Okay. Government control through corrupt. Yes. Plants to look like was, I don't know what that meant. I'm glad the holidays are over. The reason why I'm glad the holidays are over is because I ate too much and I'm getting ready to storm the sunroom over there. That's where my gym equipment is. First of the year, and get back in control. I don't want to look like Gorlock the Destroyer. No. Infighting is entertaining to me. Okay, it's shameful to me. It's very shameful. That shows a lack of maturity, lack of self-control. It shows greed. It shows a lot. Warmongers. Yes, there's a lot of warmongers out there, and unfortunately, it looks like the incoming president has selected a lot of the warmongers to be in his cabinet. That was very, very disappointing. I work retail, so I'm just glad it's over. I get it. I would be glad it's over too if I worked retail. I mean, but I would think that a lot of people didn't go out and buy a lot, this year because of the economy. But I may be wrong. We talked about that psychology. People spend money on what they want to spend money on. So it might have been just as much as in the past. Looks like they're requiring the BOI. So that ping pong ball fight, I did a video saying that they had the Texas court had put an injunction against it, and lickety split, the Treasury came back and fought that, and then they said, okay, well, it's back in play. But then now they're saying, so the latest on the BOI, the beneficial ownership form, is that people have until the 13th of January. So if you have an LLC or a corporation, any company that you set up and you literally had it registered with the Secretary of State, not just your regular company. If you have just a company that's just you and you went and got an EIN for it and a bank account, that's just a sole proprietorship. If you registered it as an LLC or a corporation, you have until the 13th of January, supposedly, to do that. And y'all know when I'm waiting to, don't you? Okay. I don't know how we're ever going to get government to do better. We're not. Karen, to me, it's going to take a revolution, because as long as they're taking our money, they're going to do what they want to do. It's just like a mother is screaming at her kids to stop doing something, and she's not going to do anything about it. He's going to keep doing whatever it is, and still she knocks the living daylights out of him. Let me stop there. Okay. I don't like a lot of Trump's cabinet picks either. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Got nothing to say to you. If you want to know what I'm referring to ask the dirty, I don't know what that means. Seems like we have somebody that, and I don't know how to do the what do you call that? It's a wrench. Let me see. Okay, Celine, I think I just gave you a wrench to get rid of people. That is a spammer. Okay. And Mr. Perry, I think I just made you one. I don't know if that worked or not. Let me know. Okay. Okay. If that worked, then you all can get rid of whatever these people are. I don't know. Thank you. I'm learning this thing. A lot, some people are visual learners. I'm one of those people that I have to break it all down and fix it back. I can't read something and do it. I saw it before. So we got it. We got it. Just get rid of whoever that person is. This. Okay. So now I'm going to go on to how we are going to thrive in 2025. Okay, one more. Dane Wigington, Geoengineering Watch, says he doesn't think we're going to make it to 2030, let alone 2035, because of the extinction event happening. He said last Saturday, no bees, no salmon, no people. Okay. I've heard those before, but again, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do until God is in control. So, what we're going to talk about is how we're going to thrive. Here are ways to thrive financially instead of just surviving. So, you might want to take notes. You got a pen and pencil out. Some of the stuff is simple and basic. Some of the stuff I've talked about, but I've kind of grouped a lot of them together. Number one, invest in yourself. The best investment that you can make is in yourself. Acquire knowledge and skills to improve your financial situation. Take control of your finances and make informed decisions based on facts and not emotion. When people invest in themselves, they've made a decision, which is something that you stand 10 toes down on. I am going to lose 30 pounds. Or I am going to save $1,000 in 6 months, or whatever that is. Make the decision to invest in yourself. We don't know everything. I don't know everything. So I just invested in a team that's supposed to help me grow my audience, and another person that come and make me understand how to make all of these platforms go together, because right now I'm just streaming on YouTube, but I'm supposed to be streaming on these other platforms, and there's a integration that you do. And I did try it. I tried it when I was in Costa Rica. I thought it was working, but it didn't work because it only streamed on YouTube. It didn't stream on Instagram. I'm going to get it to work. With help, I'm going to get it to work. Number 2, develop, and this is what I talk about, develop multiple streams of income. Diversify your income streams to reduce reliance on a single job or source of income. This can include passive income, freelancing, or entrepreneurship. Focus on building passive income streams such as real estate investing or all kinds of peer review lending. I don't know if you are familiar with peer-to-peer lending. So purchasing homes and land to keep or for rent or to flip for profit, or purchasing tax liens. These are ways to use real estate to gain more income. Peer-to-peer lending means lending your extra money to reputable businesses, not Joe down the street who has a business idea, but reputable businesses for their expansion or other profitable venture. That's another wonderful way to build passive income. You get a higher interest rate if you deal with individuals as opposed to trying to get money from a bank. Or, of course, you all know I don't deal in the stock market. If that's your thing, go right, go right ahead. Number 3, live below your means. A lot of people that I have encountered have a problem with living below their means. That means spending less than you earn and investing the difference and saving the difference. Avoid debt and make your money faster than you spend it. We don't make money faster than we spend it. It's so easy to spend money. But when you make a certain amount of money, and that's really standard, you have got to make money faster than you spend it. For example, I have a light bill. It's not going anywhere. I have car insurance. It's not going anywhere. I have to eat. I have other expenses. All these expenses keep coming in every month. Every month, it's like, oh, didn't the Georgia Power bill just come? It's here again. I have to make money faster than I spend it in order to be profitable. You will not be profitable if you're not making money faster than you spend it. And one of the worst ways that you can, one of the things that causes people not to be able to make money faster than they spend it is what they do with their time. So everybody has something that they do. Most people, you got some trust babies out here, I'm sure. Most people have some kind of a job or business that they have to do. And that's bringing in the regular income. But bringing in extra income requires extra time. So if you're coming home and you're playing video games or you're watching whatever's on television, then that's time away from making that extra money. And we need to cut that. The next one, protect your financial security. A lot of people don't know how to do this. I talked to somebody today that as they were talking to me, my eyes got bigger. I was in my car driving, but I could tell that they had not protected their financial security. And that's a very dangerous thing. So prioritize insurance. You got your car insurance, your life insurance, your homeowner's insurance, or your renter's insurance. All these insurances are in there to fill in the gap and if there's a catastrophe. Okay. Then you have what's called assurance. Assurance is what you might call an emergency fund to ensure financial stability during some kind of uncertain times, or when something in your life or your routine messes up. For example, I use a washing machine. If you got a washing machine that's 15 years old, you need to be putting some assurance money aside to make sure that when the washer goes out and you got the washer and the dryer at the same time, you might want to get a washer and dryer together as opposed to having to go to the laundromat, especially when it's cold like it is in a lot of places right now. Just have that money aside. I did that. My washer went out, and then I just got a brand new washer and dryer I paid it with a debit card, so I wouldn't have a credit card situation there. So your assurance, you save 6 months of your expenses. So if your expenses are $3,000, 6 times 3 is what, $18,000 you need to save. And yeah, get started now. It might sound like it's a lot, but get started now and you'll have that. I know people that saved and saved, and one lady that I know, she went to school. She, I don't know whether it was 2 or 3 years, but she didn't have to work for 3 years because she wanted to go to school. But she saved for it. So we can do these things. We just have to have the determination and make that decision. So after the assurance, then we have to prioritize building a long-term savings fund for long-term goals, like if you want to retire or if you want to put a down payment on a house. I don't personally plan on retiring at all. I'm not going to lay around and do nothing. I'm always doing something, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, making up a t-shirt called Let's Thrive in 2025. Okay, number 5 is focus on good debt. As I've said before, and I don't know if I've explained it, there's good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is when I go and I spend $400 in a store buying shoes. Good debt is when I go and buy a business asset that's going to turn around and bring me money. That's good debt. And I learned that from Robert Kiyosaki a while ago about good debt and bad debt. So if you have debt that is bringing you money, we need to focus on the good debt. Number 6, manage expenses. Control your spending by maintaining a daily routine, focusing on essential needs and avoiding unnecessary spending. The unnecessary spending is what I call conspicuous consumption. I'm not mad at you, but there are people out there that will buy gym shoes, what people call tennis shoes or whatever, and they'll pay like $150, $200 for some gym shoes that can literally be made for $3 to $5, and that's conspicuous consumption. And when we spend billions of dollars on conspicuous consumption for whatever reason, if I want to look better, if I think these gym shoes with this brand name on them is going to make people look at me better, whatever, we got to get over it, whatever it is. My children had to wear Payless shoes when they were young, and they were so embarrassed, but I wasn't about to go out there and pay for Nikes and all that other stuff like that, because I was on a mission. I was on a mission to make sure that I was financially secure and eventually financially free, which I'm still working on the free part, but that's what we need to do. Avoid lifestyle inflation and maintain a modest lifestyle, even as your income increases. So a lot of people, when they start getting more money, they start buying more stuff. I know somebody that just got a nice 6-figure job and they're going buying new stuff, just stuff. Anyway, number 7, practice gratitude and positivity. Now, and that is an important one. It's in the middle of some other ones, but it's important. Cultivate a positive mindset and focus on good things, that positive energy, good things to reduce financial stress. So positive energy helps reduce financial stress. Refocus any anger to positive action that will enhance your life and your bottom line. We talked about when I get angry and how I have to take that angry energy and refocus it. For example, this whole prison situation, I had to turn that around into something positive, create these businesses and multiple streams of income, as opposed to being angry at the government forever or angry at whoever. It's not worth it. These folks are not worth wasting our time about. We need to know about them. We need to know what they're doing, because if you don't know what people are doing to you, you're not going to be able to stop them from doing it to you. Number 8, give back. Contribute to society through volunteering, donating, or mentoring to create a sense of purpose and fulfillment. I like to mentor younger people, the ones who want to learn. They can come in here and they can learn anything. I've had people working in my consulting firm, And when they finished working for the summer or whether it was for the winter holidays, then I added a paragraph to their resume so that people will know that they worked in a financial consulting firm. And that helps because when you're in college, if one kid has McDonald's, that they worked at McDonald's on in the summer and on breaks, and the other one has that they worked at a financial consulting firm, more than likely the other one that worked at the financial consulting firm is going to get the job. I went through that when I was in college because all I had was McDonald's. My parents didn't have the wherewithal to go and find an accounting firm for me to work for. They didn't know. But a lot of the kids at UGA, when it came time for us to interview for jobs with CPA firms, they had worked at CPA firms. You know, you don't know what you don't know. Next one is number 9, embrace imperfection. Let go of the pursuit of perfection and focus on doing your best with a good attitude. I know some people who never get going because they're forever taking classes and they just don't implement them. They just go to the next one or the next one, or they'll write a book and then they'll reread it and then they'll reread it and then they'll reread it and the book never comes out. So embrace imperfection. We are imperfect people. Do the best you can and don't linger on something. If you need some help, get some help. If you need somebody to, let's say, bounce some ideas off of, do that. But do not just give up. Now, I'm going to go check the chat before I check the next ones. Quinn is real, but speaks in code. Okay, I know a couple of people that speak in code. There are people that call me occasionally that tell me things, and some of the things that they've said have actually come to pass. Happy New Year, everybody, from Carlos. Okay, good. Sacramento's taking notes. Appeals court reinstated the injunction. Okay, so Official Digital says that the appeals court reinstated the injunction. I was not on the computer today. Maybe that happened today. I hope they weren't doing that on Christmas, but this is a battle. So I'm not going to do it until the last minute because I have 6 companies that I would have to do this BOI thing on. And it wouldn't take me all day to do it, but I just don't want to give them my information. I just don't. So I am going to look that up when we get off and maybe do a little video or at least put something in the community section about the appeals court reinstated. It is a fight. This is a battle because it is unconstitutional. It is. What are some good side gigs from home apart from your regular job? Put a pin in that. I'll get to that. For the new year, I'm looking for a side gig on top of a full-time job. And that's what most of my clients have, full-time jobs, but they know that that's not going to be enough. And a lot of them know that they're not guaranteed to have that job next week, because a lot of corporations are doing a lot of things based on their income, based on how they handle their money. So we want to not put all of our eggs in one basket. It's great to have that job, do the best you can to make as much money as you can on that job and put some of it aside, but also don't waste your time after work, whatever that is. I mean, unless you work and you get off at 4 a.m., figure it out. You may not be able to do your business every day. You may just have a couple of days, the days that you're off, to do the business. And yeah, you want to do fun stuff, but sometimes we have to put our nose to the grindstone. I did it. And, it's paid off, and I'm still doing it to a certain degree as I move up another level. Are CDs good to invest in? In my opinion, no, because you're doing the backstroke. I don't know how to swim, but my mother's a great swimmer. She can do the backstroke. You should see her. The backstroke, what I mean by that is that the rate of inflation is over 5.7%, and they're only giving you 0.5% of interest. That's not something that you want to do. They're not giving you anywhere near the amount of interest that they're making on your money, but it's much less than the rate of inflation. So you're going backwards with a CD. Okay, I don't see. James is saying one of his comments is gone. I don't think anybody snatched it. I don't know what happened. Um, okay, so James is saying that his comment is missing. I don't know if somebody snatched it, but he wasn't the one that was doing the crazy stuff. James is a regular. Assurance. Okay. Yes, indeed. Mr. Perry says, assurance. Yes, indeed. Almost $4,000 transmission work on our car last year. So something like that, guys, is serious. That can throw you for a loop if you got an expense that big. So you have to think about it. When you have $4,000 to have to spend on a car, you're thinking, I need another car. But then that's an emotional decision. We don't want to do emotional decisions. I know somebody who did emotional decision. They went to the car dealership and had these problems, and they called out all of this stuff. That's their thing. That's what they do. And said, "Oh, you're gonna have to pay 4,000 some odd dollars to get all this fixed. Why don't you just go over here and get a new car?" And they did. And then they got locked down in a monthly car note again. That's not the good thing. If you've got a car that's in decent shape and you got to pay $4,000 to get something fixed that's going to make that car last 1, 2, 3, even more years later, do the $4,000 thing. But if you have your assurance, if you've saved your 6 months of living expenses, you have that $4,000 sitting somewhere, so you can go ahead and give them cash, or you can go ahead and put it in the bank and give them a check or whatever. Then you start replacing your assurance, and then that car is going to last at least another year. I had that happen with my Toyota 4Runner. um my uncle said that I'll fix it for you for it'll be 3,000. It ended up being a little bit more than that, but it lasted 5 more years. It was worth it. Okay. James, put it back in there and see if it shows up again. If it shows up again. I don't think anybody's deleting it. I don't know the games that are played with social media. A lot of times I've gone in and I've seen comments that people make, and when I try to reply, you have to go over to the actual video. They're not there. And there's no way that I can reply to them because it's not there. I see it in my email that they made the comment, but I can't reply. So I don't know who's doing what, but I just know they're not for us. Yes, James, many millionaires drive used cars. What's his name? Frazier. George Frazier. He told us. I was in a seminar with him one time. I spoke actually at a seminar when he was speaking. Both of us were speaking here in Atlanta, and he said he gets very nice used luxury cars, like a used Lexus or a used Mercedes Benz that has been through that whole system of making sure that it's in decent shape. And he doesn't buy new cars. And I don't buy new cars either. Rise above, cream of the crop. Claim responsibility. Yeah, a lot of people have a problem taking accountability for what they do. That's another part of maturity. That's a part of growth. That's a part of business growth. I have to take accountability for my failures in business. I've failed, a lot of times in business, but business sometimes is a risk. And I'd rather take the risk and fail and learn from my lessons than sit up and watch as the world turns, or the guiding light, or whatever is coming on television. Does the BOI requirement apply to SSN DBAs only if you went down to the Secretary of State and registered your business as a corporation, which is a C corp or S corp or an LLC? If you're just a sole proprietor with a well, you're saying SSN. If you're a sole proprietor, I would suggest that you go get a federal ID number and a bank account, a separate bank account. It's easier to keep up with stuff. You don't have to go and register a sole proprietorship with the Secretary of State. Start your business. If it's your name, just get online. The IRS has a portal where you can go get a federal ID number under your business name. Make sure all of the paperwork, make sure you print out a copy of the SS4. You fill it out in pencil first, and then you go in and fill it out online. Once you fill it out online, if you've done it correctly and if they're not having any problems, your federal ID number is going to pop up. You need to write it down, and then you need to have the paper so you'll know what you put. I talk to clients and they say, "Oh, I got a federal ID number," and I said, "Well, what did you? How did you answer these questions?" They've forgotten because they didn't write it down. They went in online, they put this information in. They don't remember whether they made their year end, the calendar year ending in December, or whether they made it a fiscal year end some other month. They don't know these things. So print it out, write it down on the SS4, then key it in from there. So you'll have a documentation of what you did, because if you don't print it out, you won't have it. Okay. Okay. Cash is king. Yes, James. I remember when Robert Kiyosaki said cash. Well, he said cash is trash and gold is king. But in the situation that we're talking about, it's better to have some cash stashed. As a matter of fact, have some silver, gold, and some cash stashed away. We talked a little bit about the places that don't accept cash anymore. They don't accept cash. I don't go to them because they're hurting us. They call us sheeple, and they're hurting us into this corral. And they're saying, okay, no more use of cash. You're gonna have to use a debit card, credit card, so they can track. What do they call it? Track, trace, and database everything that you do. Buying used appliances from estate sales. Mitch, that's another good one. I have purchased some things from estate sales before. And I bought, when I first moved into this house, I bought used a used refrigerator. I moved into this house in 2014. There was a guy that was in maybe about 30 miles from here, and I forgot how I heard about him, but he acquired broken stoves, refrigerators, and all the washers, dryers, and stuff like that, and he fixed them. And guess what, guys? That refrigerator's still right there. I'm looking at it right now. The same refrigerator that I bought for like $100 in 2014 is still working. The washer and dryer have been changed out since then that I bought from him. But that's good. Thinking about how much money you save and then taking that money and putting it aside to buy some gold or put aside for a down payment on some real estate that's going to make you money. That's wonderful. Sherry, do you know about unincorporated business trust? Are they legit? Depending on what you're talking about, I believe in trust. I believe in irrevocable trust that are not. You don't have to get permission from the state to do a trust correctly. So I don't want to go by that name. I have seen a unincorporated business trust that there was a promoter that was doing them, and long time ago he was in Florida, and they got him. I don't know what he was doing wrong, but if you read the law and you do your trust properly, how do you think all these people, these Congress critters, get away with having all these trusts? They have a lot of blind trust. Something's got to be going right. A blind trust to me is not, in my mind, not different from an unincorporated business trust, but yeah, just make sure that it's done right, Crypto Yo. You're welcome, Verge. Didn't they change the BOI filing again? No longer have to do. Yeah, this is what I'm hearing. I didn't see that. The last I heard that it was due on the 13th of January, but I don't catch everything. I'll look at it, and if they're playing ping pong with us like this, back and forth, and I'll just keep watching, and prayerfully in the end we don't have to do it. Any other savings investments other than CDs? I don't deal with CDs or money markets or IRAs, 401ks, mutual funds, or any of that stuff, because they're making a lot of interest on it. When they're using your money to make money, and they give you, if for example, there was a time that I know of people getting 40% interest on their money. That's what the banks get. And I don't know if you know what a bank sweep is, but the banks will take your money overnight and use it to make interest overnight. So it's like when you go to the bank with a $10,000 check and they say, "Oh, we'll give you access to $1,000 today, but the other 9,000 won't be available for 7 days." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." The person that gave me that $10,000 check, this is what I do. I would wait 2 days, and I would call the person and said, "Okay, is the money cleared from your account?" And they says, "Yes, the $10,000 is no longer in my account." So I go to the bank and talk to the manager. "Look, the person that gave me this check, they don't have the money anymore. They don't have access to it. If they don't have access to it, and I don't have access to it, where's my money? Marcus, loose my money." And he would just laugh and go make them give me my money, because they're making money on our money, and they're making like 40% interest, y'all. And they're giving people 1% and 2% interest. This is robbery. The banksters are banksters. Okay, let's see what we have here. I have silver, dimes, and quarters for trade. Yes, that's a good one. Bartering will be important if some things start going on. Hopefully, they won't go on. Congress critters is a good name for them. That's one of the names that I have for them. I didn't make that up though. That's not one of my originals. Okay, somebody put in Mr. Perry put in the chat, as of yesterday, which I did not go out of the house or do any of this research yesterday. So as of yesterday, it must be put on hold again. So Mr. Perry put a link in the chat. Okay, heavy metals. All right. FinCEN under appeal. So still must file as of today. Okay. See, if the government wins, if the government loses, they'll still have our information. So I am going to go to the next one. Number 10 is the next one. Is challenge limiting beliefs. We have so many limiting beliefs. In my last live conference, we talked about all these limiting beliefs that we've been taught. Like there's no such thing, nothing sure in life but death and taxes. That phrase was made up, and it was a propaganda piece made up by somebody that worked for the Rockefellers or somebody, because they want us to think that taxes are always going to be here, yet they don't pay them. So look at it that way. Identify and overcome self-limiting beliefs that may be holding you back from achieving financial success. Change your mindset from living in your circumstances to living outside the box. Like me, I don't even know what the box is. I don't have limiting financial beliefs. I'm not money crazy. But I do want to make sure that my life is in balance. And when I mean balance, my family comes first. You all have heard these stories about people, or you've read something about, if somebody's on their deathbed, they're not going to say something like, "Oh, I wish I had invested more in this stock or that stock." Their sentiments are, "I wish I had spent more time with my family." Well, I'm not going to follow that pattern. I spend time with my family. I have 2 grandchildren and 1 on the way. I have my parents are still alive. I'm going to spend time with my family. So yeah, somebody asked me one time, they wanted to do some, we were introduced so that we could collaborate and do business together. And this guy asked me, was I a millionaire? And I said, no. And he asked me why. And that kind of took me aback. It's like, okay, so because money is important, but not more important. We only have 24 hours in a day. And the things that I've been doing are leading towards me having financial freedom, but it's not going to take the place of my family. It turns out that guy, yeah. Anyway, number 11, build a solid network. This is so important, people. Build a solid network of smart, moral, and exciting people that match or complement your goal. We don't want the naysayers around. We don't want, "Oh, you don't need to do that." We don't need those people. Your network can determine your net worth. I'm going to say that again. Your network can determine your net worth. Now, you more than likely won't be able to just bust up in some millionaire's club or something like that and say, hey, I'm here. I want to be in y'all's network. But start talking to upwardly mobile people, people who are spending their time making a life for themselves where their finances and their overall lives are moving forward in a positive way rather than bringing you backwards. There's something that you all know about and I've experienced called crabs in a bucket or crabs in a barrel. We don't want to be in that barrel. We don't want to be anywhere near that barrel. We don't want to be with people that will pull us back into that barrel. So find people of like mind that have businesses or are starting businesses and start networking with them. A good place to do that would be, getting into different discussion groups or classes with people who are going in the same direction. The next one, structure your daily routine. Your daily routine is very important. Structure it to include time for personal development, self-care, and financial planning. We can't just, like I used to, just get out of the bed and hit the ground running because your body will wear down, your mind won't be sharp. I do take personal time. And during the time that we were locked down, I did so well with that because I had a routine in place. A lot of times I can't, I have plans. You all know that the best laid plans of mice and men. You've heard of that. I could have plans for tomorrow, but then, one of my parents will call and need something or stuff comes up. But try your best to keep a routine, keeping a routine, and especially self care, going to do something that you like to do. People always ask me, you seem like you're always working and driving hard. What do you do for fun? I said, well, they don't understand that my version of fun is different from somebody else. Somebody else might want to watch a ball game or watch a movie or whatever. That's not what I ever consider fun. I like to travel. So I work hard and then I go to Costa Rica and I'm working there, but that's my self-care. It's still to somebody it's a lot of work. To me, it's just self-care. So make sure you have a self-care routine. And number 13 is develop a growth mindset, growth, and be open to learning new skills. We don't know it all. We can always add skills to what we have. Be open to adapting to changing your circumstances. Remember what I said, circumstances, a circum is a circle. So you're standing in a circle, a self-imposed circle, looking out at what everybody else is doing. And yeah, sometimes I have haters because I do get a lot done. I write down what I need to do. I have notes that I write in the morning. I have notes in my phone. I mean, lots of them. And the alarm goes off. And so, what am I supposed to be doing right now? I'm supposed to be doing this. You can't hate on people because they're succeeding in what they want to do because they're paying a price behind the scenes that you don't know about. I paid a price behind the scenes that people don't know about. So if you're willing to walk in my shoes, then I can teach you that. But if you're not willing to walk in my shoes, and I tell them, don't be hating. All of this stuff that I've done and got the CPA and got a house and all of this in the same year, and then I got the doctor, all this other stuff, it takes I paid a price. Let's say that. Now remember, thriving financially requires a combination of discipline, strategy, and mindset. You remember when I told everybody about my dad, he would always say, when I would get in trouble as a kid, what was your mindset when you did that? Tell me about your mindset. And it's like, he's like, what in the world were you thinking? And I'm very conscious of mindset, my own and other people. So when people do things or when people say things, it's like a mixture of chess and mindset. It's like, okay, why did they do that? What was their mindset? And what on this chessboard are they trying to achieve? That's what I call strategic thinking. And this is what we need to do. We need to normalize critical thinking again. By incorporating the principles of discipline, strategy, and mindset, you can move from simply surviving to thriving financially and otherwise. So I'm going to go back to the chat before. Oh, I'm way over. Okay, let's see. I think YouTube is shadow banning my comment. That could be because our people, I only have two wrenches and they're not erasing your comment. I don't know why they do that. I just don't know. You are monitored. I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that. Iron sharpens iron. It really does. It really does. Alice in Wonderland, thank you. I just emailed you. I think YouTube was banning my content. So yeah, email me and then hopefully it'll be there. I will return your email if it's there. I don't think it would be I don't think it would go away on the email. James says wisdom in flexibility. So also what we're going to do to thrive is, I think I talked about it a little bit last time, but we're going to have courses. Some of you responded, very few of you, but some of you responded to me via email concerning some courses. This is what we're going to do. So I have colleagues, I have people that, that network that I talked about. And I had a conversation with one of them. And what he said was, do some courses that will, once the people are done with the course, they can turn around and make money doing whatever that is that you taught, as opposed to just teaching about business and how to start a business. Actually help them start a business. So I said, okay, that's a decent idea. We'll see how they respond to that idea. So what I did was figured out what could we do that would bring in, an average of $1,000 a month for people after they learned a skill. Because a lot of people don't know what's really out there. That's, you can research. If you go online and you put in 101 different businesses, and they'll tell you a whole bunch of stuff, but you have to research to figure out what's really going on in your area. So I'm going to quickly go over the things that I thought about, and that there are 3 classes that I put together. A possible 4th one, depending on interest. Number 1, how to write a book. That course got more interest, or people emailing me or contacting me about it. So we're going to have a course on how to write a book. Remember when I said that when you write a book, you become a subject matter expert automatically. And then you can start speaking, because you'll get speaking engagements. You'll get on podcasts. You might get on YouTube, because you need to talk about your book. So I'm going to do these are going to be mini courses. They're going to be 1-day courses. It's not going to be over a week. It's not going to be, I would like to do longer courses, like a 6-week course. But in my experience, it has not worked out. And I think the reason why these longer courses are not working out is because people's time is so stretched. Everybody's just trying to thrive. But right now, a lot of people are in survival mode, and they just can't take 2 hours out every week for 6 weeks for classes. I think that I would like to do that, but right now I'm going to do many courses. So we're going to spend a half a day together. I'm trying to figure out, I need you all to tell me whether Thursdays from 6 to 9 are going to be okay. I can't do the weekends because that's family time. But if Thursday nights from 6 to 9, and some people might be on the West Coast, I don't know whether they could make it, but you'll be able to have the recording. So let me continue on. How to write a book. You're becoming the subject matter expert. I have a whole course that I have on how to write a book. It may take a little longer than 6 to 9. I don't think that I should start before 6, because a lot of people may still be at work. It might be 6 to 10 if people could stay on. Either way, if somebody has to go to bed or if somebody can't make it, if they've signed up for the course, they will have the course in their back office or whatever. They'll be able to go over and over and over the course. The second course is how to prepare your taxes and maybe make money preparing taxes. That was the second most requested one. Going out and paying somebody can be expensive, especially if have a lot going on with your taxes. I'm just going to teach the basics and maybe a little bit above the basics, and then show you in this class how you can go get your your enrolled agent's license. So it used to be that any shade tree Joe could prepare tax returns, and the IRS got so many people that were putting all kind of expenses on there that weren't real, that they want to track, trace, and database everybody that is being paid to prepare taxes. So an enrolled agent is what you do. You take a course, and we'll talk about that and how you get your enrolled agent. But first, you need to know how to prepare them. So that's the second one. The third one is how to create a course to sell it online. So along with that book, you can create courses, and I have created a lot of courses. I just have not taught these courses. So I will be doing a class on teaching you how to create a course. And that fourth one that I'm not sure about yet, I have a course on how to speak on stage and plan an event. So if you want to put an event on, whether that be an all day event or a 2 hour event, or even if you want to do it online, it's something that it will be you on a stage, which will be on a real stage or online doing it. So those are the four. I plan on starting the first one, the one about how to write a book, on January. I'm looking at like the 23rd. That'll give people time to get themselves together for them. So it would be on maybe January 23rd, then January 30th for the next one, then February 6th for the next one. So that's three of them. So that will be the first three. Now, please write in the comment section, not necessarily in the chat, but in the comment section, if you have any other courses that you think would be helpful for you to make money, because you can get this information and turn around, and if you do it, my father says anything will work if you work it. If you actually work it and get this information and do it, then it'll work for you. So if you have any other courses, you can put them in the chat right now and I'll write them down. I have some paper right here. But if you have any other courses, now at some point or another, I'd love to do a course that might be 4 weeks. It's just not, I've done them before. I think one time it worked out really well. Sometimes it doesn't work out because so many people have things that come up. And then getting it secondhand after you look at the video, sometimes they want to ask questions. By the way, when you take the course, when I'm done teaching it, then the people that are in the course will be able to ask questions about what we learn. Not during the teaching, but at the end. So if I'm doing the teaching and they're taking notes, then they can ask the question. The class is going to be 3 hours with maybe I will go on afterwards as long as people want to stay on. But if you get the course, you will have a 30-minute private one-on-one with me after the course. So maybe a week after or whenever, after you've digested the information, after you've started working on your book, after you started working on your course, you'll have a 30-minute with me. So it includes a 30-minute. You all know that my hourly rate is $4.97. So the class is $4.97 and you get 30 minutes with me. Each participant will be able to visit the back office and review the class whenever they want, or take the course online in case you cannot do it live. So I have sometimes people from other countries on here. They can actually take the course and they can take it while, whatever time after the course is over, because they couldn't make it, but they still get the 30 minutes with me. Let's see what else. People tell me that I usually do everything on Zoom because people tell me that I throw stuff out really quickly. And some of you in the chat right now know sometimes when my brain gets going, my mouth gets going, and then you have to say, what did you say? Well, you'll have that information in the Zoom class. So the link is going to be up soon. My helper is working on that. These classes will be discounted if you sign up for more than one. There'll be discounts. And let's see what else I have on here. Just please tell everybody about them. This is something that I'm putting out there because I know that people need help. I'm out here to help people. Um, there are people out there that do different things, and I want people to thrive. I don't like the fact that those that feel like they control us feel like they don't have to answer to us. We are the ones that are supposed to be controlling government. They are our civil servants, supposedly, but that's not how it's working out because they're the servants of the corporatocracy at this point. So these classes will be there. Let me check the chat one more time. James says I could write a door-to-door marketing book. Okay, that would be whatever your expertise is or whatever your passion is. That's what we're going to write the book about. I'm interested in creating courses, public speaking, and writing a book. Okay, Lynn, then those courses will be available. If you sign up for all of them, then the discount will be there. And I spend more time with everybody. Just it's needed. It's needed. I didn't have any money. Oh, I don't have any money. Okay. Um, work on trying to see if you can get some before the 23rd. How much would be the price for the course? The course is $497. Okay. That includes the course, your ability to be there live on the Zoom, your ability to go into the back office and review the course and any information that I put in there before, during, and after the course, and 30 minutes with me concerning your personal situation. For example, if you're in the writing the book course and you got a snag or you're thinking about a title after you've gone through the course and you have two titles that you're torn about, we can talk about that, or we can talk about how you want to distribute the book, anything. So that 30 minutes one-on-one would help you kind of go ahead and jumpstart. I will be giving out information concerning maybe a publishing company that is not that expensive. We don't want to, we're talking about self-publishing here. So you're giving them the PDF and they're making the book for you. We're not trying to go and hire some grandiose publisher that's going to promise you to put it in every bookstore in the world and charge you a whole bunch of money. Not that kind of thing. Okay. Okay, so those courses are $497. If you get two, it's less. If you get two, three, and it goes down in price. So, and I want to try to have the link up by next weekend for the courses to see who's interested in it. I know I give a lot of information on the YouTube, but some of the stuff is more detailed and people need to invest in themselves. So with that said, I'm going to tell everybody have a great Friday. This is our last live for 2024. You can go into the description area and look at the t-shirt that I did. I'm going to do another t-shirt too, I think, but let's thrive in 2025, people. Let's thrive in 2025. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will probably pop in at the beginning of next year. I might have the t-shirt on. It depends on how long it takes to get here. All right. That's right. Crypto, yo, let's get it. Good night.